約束しろ。いつか必ず俺かお前が世界一の剣豪になるんだ。
そんな野心がありながら、この男に代わって、お前は死ねるというのか。
Zoro owes his dream and, in some ways, his life to Luffy.
船長一人守れねえでてめえの野心もねえだろ。
Because it takes a lot of faith and commitment to be able to swear loyalty to someone.
お前のような男がプライドを捨てるときは、必ず誰かのためだと決まっている。
これは俺たちだけに向けられたメッセージ。そしてルフィの決断だ。立ち止まって力をつけるんだ。船長が威厳を失った一味は必ず崩壊する。
If you don't have standards to uphold, people are going to walk all over you.
何のための2年だったんだよ。油断してたじゃ済まねえんだよ。この先は。
Besides being a hunk of a man with pecs bigger than my face, what is it that makes Zoro so manly? To the point where, yes, girls fall for him, but men want to be like him. They admire his strength. And is that strength purely physical? Or is there something that's going on in here too? What does Zoro think about as he trains? What motivates him? And is his strength more fueled by the training that he does, mentally or physically? The guy who as a kid suffered 2,000 losses to his best friend and fiercest opponent, Kuina. And now, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's up to. Her death was very tragic and unfortunate, but it did spark something inside of Zoro. First, it sparked a commitment to a promise. The promise of becoming the greatest swordsman. Losing that opponent is kind of like losing the person that was going to keep you accountable. And now Zoro's accountability depends entirely on himself. And because he also lost someone so young, it begs the question of, why is he needing to accomplish this? Is there a need that extends beyond the simple, I promised that I was going to achieve this? Part of me feels like Zoro really needs the physical strength mentally, because if he doesn't have the physical ability to protect those that he cares about, then he's never going to have the security that he's strong enough to protect those he cares about. With Kuina, there's nothing he could have done, but it did cement something in him. It cemented fear, and his way of dealing with fear was to discipline himself enough to continue training and become the most physically alpha male, whatever you want to call it. But you have to be careful when fear is your fuel, because if you let that be your motivation, you're automatically focused on the fear, and that can attract the result which you don't want to happen.
Zoro understands this, even with his ridiculous training routine. His fear of loss, of not being strong enough to protect others, doesn't make him cower. Instead, it fuels his refusal to give in. For him, loss isn't just something to grieve, it's something to confront, to grow through. And the best way to understand how Zoro metabolizes that fear is to look at the moments where he actually does lose. Because Zoro does lose, quite a few times in fact.
Here's a quick list of characters that Zoro lost to pre-time skip. Buggy, Mihawk, Enel, Rob Lucci, Arlong, Kuma. How did Zoro respond to losing to his opponents? He's not the type to wallow in despair. He's the type to be motivated by a rage, one might say, of grit and determination. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I actually think if you have a bad day and you end up angry about it, you can channel that anger into motivation. You can channel that, fear into more discipline. That's exactly what he does. So he continues to train, he gets stronger. That way, when he faces the next opponent, he has a greater skill set in order to beat them.
And he never backs down from a fight because that would be counterintuitive to his goals. He would rather stand face to face with bad, even when the power imbalance is glaringly obvious. And that makes for a trait that's admirable. In his fight with Mihawk, Zoro says, he knew that he didn't have the skill level necessary to beat this distinguished of a swordsman, this cream of the crop. He gave it his all anyway, because in order to become the best, you have to go up against the best. To not face your fears straight on with your head held high is to lie to yourself and accept that the level you're currently at is the only level you'll ever achieve. This is why he won't stand back and refuse to fight. He has signed his name to his own words, and that means it's do or die.
世界一か死か
Which is why for me that quote fits so perfectly.
背中の傷は剣士の恥だ
Think about what it means to get wounded in the back. I think of backstabbing, and backstabbing means betrayal. So to allow yourself to be stabbed in the back instead of the front is to break a promise to yourself, to betray yourself, and shy away from reality.
ここを一歩でも引いちまったらなんか大事な今までの誓いとか約束とかいろんなもんがへし折れてもう二度とこの場所に帰ってこれねえような気がする
Zoro will always face reality, and every loss exposes his own weaknesses, exposes his points of improvement, exposes how his fear of not being strong enough to protect his crew is gonna require more work from him, because
What really carries him forward is this motivation that he cannot lose the next time. He cannot lose the next time because he has to keep his promise to Kuina. He has to keep his promise to now his captain Luffy. This is his new figure that he is completely loyal to.
from their first interaction, we come to understand that Zoro takes people's words literally and seriously. There is a power in the promise. You see, Zoro's convinced he's going to survive these 30 days strapped to the pole, and that's because he claims Helmeppo has promised him freedom after 30 days. In the anime, we see this moment after a 5-second flashback to his promise with Kuina, but in the manga, it actually comes beforehand, showing us the standards he lives by before showing us the why behind it. So when he finds out this was fake, a false promise, he resigns himself. In fact, in the manga, he experiences the flashback to Kuina moments before the executioning squad is going to fire, and it's Luffy who steps in. In the anime, the words were a lot more pointed.
Luffy's the only person here who can actually save you from execution. And of course, you're the only one here who can save him.
So whether you follow the flow of the manga or the anime, it's pretty obvious now that Zoro owes his dream and, in some ways, his life to Luffy.
Zoro's loyalty is one of his most attractive traits. I think that makes him a stronger man than most people realize, because it takes a lot of faith and commitment to be able to swear loyalty to someone. In this case, he's swearing loyalty to his captain, and in the same way he swore loyalty to his best friend when he was younger. This kind of fierce commitment, a man who can put his word out there and then do everything in his power to remain committed to that word, that is a point of attraction. That is a point of strength. It kind of lines up with things I've been talking about in the past about building the data in your brain, having more evidence to back up that you trust yourself, that you're doing the right thing, that you actually have what it takes to accomplish what you want. And it really works, because I want to point out the fight with Kuma.
そんな体をしてしかも能力者かさらに希望をそがれた気分ださすがにもう俺の体も言うことを聞かねえこの俺の命一つで勘弁してもらいてえ
He is so loyal that he decides to take what was supposed to be given to Luffy, the pain, the suffering, and he takes it all for himself. He nearly dies from it. He doesn't do this so that he can show it off. He doesn't complain about it because he's in suffering and pain.
He has put himself up to this because he truly believes it is his responsibility and that he is the only one who is fit to do this.
船長一人守れねえでてめえの野心もねえだろ
It's why he didn't let Sanji take it from him in the first place. He knows who Sanji is. Sanji's not doing it because he thinks he can take it at all. He's doing it because he'd rather sacrifice himself and have the crew move on without him because he doesn't value himself. Zoro can tell this about Sanji based on how Sanji speaks and carries himself, which, by the way, will be brought up. His sacrificial nature and self-hatred will be brought up in a future video. Stay tuned. But yeah, ultimately, loyalty and honor of conduct are what make Zoro take this pain from Luffy.
その代わりお前には地獄を見せる
He takes it with the full brunt of his body and his willpower because he is loyal to his captain, because he has a promise to keep, and because he is mentally that strong.
ここで何があった 何もなかった。
That moment cemented for me that Zoro is my guy. He was my favorite character up until the time skip, and a large reason for it was because of moments like these. They show that Zoro has the maturity and resolve of a captain, of a natural leader, and he doesn't have to tell it to us. We see it through his ideology and conduct. When the Straw Hats face internal struggles because Usopp has decided to go against his captain Luffy, Zoro has no problem weighing in on how Usopp needs to be handled.
こんなことを気まぐれでやるような男を俺たちがこの先信頼できるはずもねえ。ウソップの第一声が深い謝罪であればよし。それ以外ならもう奴に帰る場所はない。
He makes it very clear that Usopp has challenged Luffy's authority as a captain, and therefore encourages Luffy by saying this.
俺たちがやってんのはガキの海賊ごっこじゃねえんだぞ。
If you don't have standards to uphold, people are going to walk all over you. And essentially, in order to command respect, you have to act like you deserve it. So for Usopp to come back to the team, back to the crew, Zoro refuses to let Luffy accept him without demanding an apology first. And it's not like he's forcing Usopp to do it. He needs Usopp to say it in his own words of his own accord. Usopp needs to make that promise of commitment and loyalty to his captain himself. And Luffy shouldn't accept anything less than that.
ウソップが呼んでるよ。聞こえねえ。取り消すわけにはいかねえから。ダメだな。頼むからよ。お前らと一緒にいさせてくれ。もう一度。
In this way, Zoro pushes Luffy to uphold his responsibilities as a captain, thereby pushing both Luffy and Usopp to mature and be one step closer to their goals.
しっかりしやがれ。これからだぞ新世界は。厳しいね自分に。
あ、悪い。もう油断しねえ。
So actually, Zoro's traditionally shonen or masculine traits, his loyalty, his conduct, his honor, his strength, is what acts as the anchor that holds the Straw Hats together. He makes sure that everyone means business and won't tolerate anything less than everyone sticking to their own word. So we'll never find him complaining, and because of that, we'll never find Luffy doubting him. From every single fight that we see Luffy entrust to Zoro, he has full faith that Zoro is going to beat that guy. He's like, don't worry about it. Oh, 3 times his size, don't worry about it. Oh, 3 times the bounty, don't worry about it. My man Zoro's got it. Don't worry about him. Worry about yourself, darling. That's Luffy's attitude about his pirate hunting vice captain. He approaches things from a place of, I am going to protect as many people as I can. I'm going to perfect this skill as much as I can. And that's all that I need to worry about. And so when he takes the 2 years with Mihawk training, I believe, this is my personal theory, that this is when he already got most of the inner peace necessary for him to unlock Haki. Observation Haki, armament Haki, and conqueror's Haki. When I think of these 3, I look at it as a 6th sense. It's something outside of our 5 senses that we can, touch and feel and smell and see and hear. When we look at the world through our 5 senses, we have limited our perception to only 5 senses. And even though we think that it's a lot, we're processing maybe 10% of what our senses are giving us. And the fact that we even label only 5 senses limits us. And so when a character has Haki, they're tapping into something further, something beyond. Observation Haki taps into observation techniques that don't require actual eyesight. One good example would be when Usopp does the slingshot to Sugar. There's no way any human would be able to see to that distance, but he can because he's unlocked that 6th sense. And there are a lot of rumors that go around, because I don't know if this is corroborated by the manga or not, but Zoro lost one eye during his training with Mihawk. And I believe that Mihawk did that in order to enhance Zoro's observation skills. If he has less eyesight, he gains insight. Does that make sense, everyone? And that helps him depend less on fear and more on his surroundings. He can stop, take a breather, and feel a situation out. A lot of times, Zoro's greatest strength is that he can actually hold back. I think it's so cool that Zoro has reached a level of strength physically by the end of the time skip that he doesn't actually need to be going full force all the time. In fact, his greatest moments are when he is having to, he's fought like 10 episodes and then he's like, I guess I have to put up my real fighting power now because I was barely even putting in any effort until now. And then you're like, dang, this man's strong. Yeah. What really got me was when he was in Punk Hazard and he had to fight against Monet. And Monet was like, give it all you got. Not Monet. Tashiki was like, why don't you give it all you got? Are you afraid to hit her because she's a woman? And Zoro was like, oh, you think I don't cut her because she's a woman? I'll show you. He cuts her and he leaves her within an inch of death on purpose to traumatize her because now she realizes, like Monet's on the ground, by the way. I should have some visuals here for this. Monet's on the ground and she realizes that if Zoro had used just an inkling of Haki, she'd be dead, she'd be gone, goner, absolute goner. But he had to hold himself back, restrain himself from actually killing her. If that's not true strength, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. And so back to my case on Haki. Haki is something that enhances your senses. Conqueror's Haki kind of operates the same way. You can exert your will over someone else's will. This sounds a lot to me like thought transmission because you are essentially being with your presence, your energy is able to then attract an action or behavior from other people, whether it be to inspire them or to beat them, whatever it is. Kind of like a snake whisperer. Is that what they're called? Snake charmer, snake whisperer? Do they really have a special skill that the rest of us don't? Or are they tapping into something that we all have, but we don't often exercise? Is it something that we have when we have complete confidence in ourselves and have put enough practice into place where we feel confident? We've tamed our own beasts so then we can tame beasts outside of us. That's kind of the feeling I get when Shanks uses Conqueror's Haki. So my point is that Haki is a lot like using your power, your inner source. And Zoro is able to unlock that over time. And the closer that he gets to using more of that, and being strong in that way, the more he lets go of fear and the more confident he is. I mean, it's also because he's fought so many fights by this point, but I think it all goes hand in hand. He's mentally strong, he's physically strong, he's spiritually strong. What more could you want in a man? Very real talk though, if you want to progressively overload and get stronger physically and get those muscles, which I don't have right now because I stopped working out again. See, I'm building up my inner strength so that my physical strength will come after. This video is going in crazy directions. The point is, or what I want to say is, the reflection on the outside can only be as good as the reflection on the inside. You might have the body of Zoro post time skip, but if you've got the personality then you're not going to get anywhere in life. This will not actually get you anything. In conclusion, strength starts up here, and everything from here fuels the outside world. So what makes Zoro a man? It's not what we see at the end, what we're seeing in current reality. It's actually everything that has been building up to this. And it all started from his promise as a kid and the way that he used fear of failure to fuel himself, to discipline himself. And once he got to a certain level, he discarded that fear, replaced it with confidence, replaced it with inner peace, unlocked Haki, got so strong that he actually restrains himself rather than exerts himself. And he's the Zoro that we all know and love today. So if you take any little tidbits from this very whack video that I'm making, it's that your journey to being a really strong person starts with mastering your thoughts, mastering your fear and your anger, channeling those things into productivity, or if you don't like the word productivity, channel it into creativity, channel it into drawing or sitting in front of a camera and making a video like me. Whatever you do, I don't know. I have no closing words for this. This is crazy. Whatever you do, attack it with commitment and love. See you next time.